What's up, boys? Today I'm going to be making a quick series to provide you all with a comprehensive guide to playing 3-5-2 in FIFA Pro Clubs. While many players will agree that this is the meta formation in Pro Clubs, not many of you understand exactly why. In this particular video I'll outline exactly why 3-5-2 is the formation of choice. Not only this, but I'll outline its strengths, which every team should look to exploit, as well as highlighting the weaknesses that all players need to be aware of. Right then, boys, let's get started. How often have you been in a game where the gaffer has bellowed at his team, push up, they don't like it, press, 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 don't give them space? I suspect almost everyone, and the reason is quite simple, they're right. Players don't like being pressed, they don't like their space being taken away, they don't like having to make quick decisions, which is why almost any opposition team worth their salt will play a high pressing, Jurgen Klopp, Gagan style onslaught every time your goalkeeper has the ball. The simplest counter to this is to provide more passing options, and no formation offers more than the 3-5-2, with 3 centre backs, 2 CDMs, as well as deep lying left mids and right mids. If a team wants to play a 3-5-2, then have at it, but you better be willing to commit 7 of your players to ensure there's no easy options for the opposition to play out, which of course leaves lots of space behind. As well as being a suitable counter to the gegenpressing opposition, the 3-5-2 is also well suited for quick counter-attacks. With 2 strikers and a cam, this formation provides an easy overload in central areas against almost all 2 centre-back systems, which again further adds to the fact that if you don't play with a back 3, then you are asking for trouble. Even against a back 3 setup, playing with advanced left mids and right mids, you force opposition centre-backs to push out wide, again leaving the 3v2 in the middle when your cam pushes forward into the front line. However, the 3-5-2 isn't a formation to rule all formations. It does have its weaknesses, the most glaring being in wide areas, having only one player responsible for almost all attacking and defensive duties. Opposition teams can easily overload these areas, forcing inexperienced CDMs to come across into wide areas where they don't do as well against quick, agile wingers. But, as I'm sure you've guessed it, this isn't a problem. Teams are happy to give up space in wide areas, as crossing is pretty much ineffective in FIFA Pro Clubs, especially when you consider the new height restrictions now imposed in most league formats. The final point on the 3-5-2 setup is that it's simply the easiest to coach for a Pro Clubs manager. Players are naturally where they should be most of the time without the need for your team having Pep Guardiola levels of tactical understanding. When you venture away from the 3-5-2 and use, for example, a 4-4-2, you will find yourself having to provide players with more complex instructions, such as asking wide mids to invert into cam positions, or even relying on your fullbacks to perfectly time their overlaps without leaving space behind them. Other formations are of course viable in Pro Clubs, but require a lot more finesse and a lot more team cohesion. Hence, 3-5-2 is the formation of choice. In the next couple of videos I will be going into more depth on topics such as how to press effectively, what a team's attacking shape should look like, how to build up from the back effectively, ideal passing patterns teams should be looking for where possible, and much more. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found it somewhat useful. I'll see you in the next one.